Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report with Coach Dennis Papadatos. I'm Jim Sheehan with Coach of the Hofstra Wrestling Team, Dennis Papadatos. Coach, the season is over. 2 weeks now since the NCAA Championships at Madison Square Garden, hosted by Hofstra University. Overall, your assessment of the team's results in 2015-16?
I mean, obviously, we always want more and we expect more. It's been an interesting time. There were some highs, there were some lows. I thought we competed pretty well at MSG, even though I do believe both guys were good enough to be All-Americans. I think they both put their effort out there. Mike made big gains this year. A lot of guys, Frank finally made big gains this year. To be honest, a lot of guys actually made big gains this year, but overall we left some results on the table that I wouldn't want to have left. But it was another step in the right direction in a lot of ways. This group and a group of guys that are kind of finishing up right now, it's been a hard transition. Some of these guys were recruited by Tom Shiplett and then coached by Rob Ansbach and then coached by me, and they really had a lot on their plate to deal with a lot of different ideas, and we're appreciative. They were the transition guys. Unfortunately, that got bestowed upon them, and it's just hard for them to change on a swivel like that. And now we're doing our due diligence to bring new guys in, and obviously it's a little different. Not that those guys weren't my guys, but it's different when you're talking to the parents and sitting in their house and watching them wrestle, and you bring them in, and other than I was kind of force fed on some guys that who knows may not have chosen to wrestle for me if we were in the recruiting process. So we're really appreciative of those guys and their years here during those transition years for sure.
We'll look back at the roster in a minute, but let's look back at the NCAA championships. Michael Hughes, 2-2 in the championship. Jamal Hudson, 1-2, both losing their first match. Start with Michael Hughes losing his first match to the 8th seed Max Wessel from Lehigh, who wound up 8th and became an All-American in the championships. Your assessment of Mike's performances?
Mike, I thought, could have won that match. I actually thought the ref didn't do the best job in it, but it didn't make that big of a difference. There was just a couple of stolen calls. I didn't appreciate, did not agree with that they didn't happen. But Mike made gains from the last time we wrestled him. We know we can beat him. We'll probably never. I think the kid's done, so we'll never find out. But Mike competed. Then he competed hard the next two matches, and I wish we had the Wyoming match again. The last match he lost, he was winning. His foot got caught. It was. I would like to have been. He would have been an All-American round, which is, where I would have thought he deserved to be. But it is what it is. But he competed. He made huge strides. Last year he was good enough to be at the national tournament and fell short a little bit. This year we believe he's good enough to be an All-American and fell short a little bit. So, hopefully with another year, and he may even redshirt next year when he comes back. The sky's the limit for him. And same thing with Jamel. Jamel had a really, really tough draw. Obviously, he had a up and down season. He had a lot of things going on that had nothing to do with wrestling. He stayed tough. He stayed the course. He got out there. He had a tough first round match. And then in the wrestlebacks, he had that kid that he wrestled in the wrestlebacks was ranked like number 8 in the country at one point. He was another seeded guy that got upset in the first round. He was a Midlands champ, and he majored him. It was a great win for Jamel. And then the number 3 seed gets upset and gets thrown back to Jamel. So it was, all 3 guys that Jamel wrestled were all ranked top 8 in the country about a month ago. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he had a rough draw. He came out with a major, and I thought he competed well, and I was proud of his effort for sure.
Yeah, Jamel losing to the 4th seed Anthony Ashnault from Rutgers, who did hold serve, so to speak, and finished 4th. And then losing to Kevin Jack, who was the 3rd seed. Jack did not place in the championships. Hudson finished 21-10. Mike Hughes finishing 41-10. Tied for the most wins in NCAA Division I this year with another local product, Marcus Scheidel from Columbia. You got to be proud of Mike's progression this year.
100%. I mean, people got to take that into consideration. Mike was tied for the most wins in the country. Anyone in any weight class, not heavyweight. I mean, he had 41 wins. You try going get 41 wins. Some guys don't even get 41 wins in their career. That's a pretty good career. He did it in a season. I'm pretty proud of him, and he didn't shy away from competition. He wrestles at everything, so he's made huge progression. But obviously, being the coach and being what everyone wants, we want All-Americans here at Hofstra. We've had him before. We want him again, and we believe Mike was good enough. So we do feel like we fell a little short, but he made huge strides, and he's a great kid. He really is. He's a home run kid. So he's great for team morale. Everyone loves him. So I'm proud of him. We're trying to do what we can to get him better workout partners and figure out if we're going to redshirt him next year to get him ready to land on top in his senior year.
Now, looking back at the championships, not that Hofstra University as the host was the focal point. Obviously, it's the student athletes, Madison Square Garden, New York City. You were in the stands. You were with the people in the stands and around the area. What were the comments being made about the championships in New York? Because there were a lot of doubters that this would never fly in New York City, and it certainly did, and it was one of the most successful championships wrestling has ever had.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I wouldn't say I was a doubter, but I was concerned. I'll be honest. We did. And I was like, "Ooh, I wonder what it's going to be like New York City. I hope it's well with the host." So I was concerned, and man, it was knocked out the park by a lot of people on our staff the athletic staff, not the wrestling staff, and by the NCAA in general. The overall excitement, people left there thinking, wow, that was the best NCAAs ever. It was awesome. I actually think the wrestling was better, and the level of wrestling was better. The finals were unbelievable, which I'm a wrestling fan besides being a wrestling coach. And there's been years I sat through the finals and was like, this is kind of boring. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? And this year it was awesome. Every match, every second, and I really attribute it to people being excited to wrestle in Madison Square Garden, world famous arena in New York City. Everyone brought their A game, which elevated the wrestling, which brought a level of electricity, which brought a level of excitement, which got the crowd involved, which got the guys wrestling harder, which got the opponent wrestling harder, which made the ref more, it was like, it was contagious. I'll be honest, I didn't want it to end. It was a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, I think it wasn't a home run, it was a grand slam, to be honest.
And you mentioned Hofstra, you mentioned the NCAA, but Madison Square Garden put on a great show. Having worked behind the scenes and seeing all the Madison Square Garden personnel, they did a fantastic job. I know I received a number of comments about how courteous the ushers, the security people were. Obviously, there's a certain time of day where people get cranky. Somebody may run into them, but overall, I thought it was outstanding, and the Garden did a fantastic job. They are true professionals down there, and it is the world's most famous and probably greatest arena in the world.
I agree, and I know Dylan pretty well, and Dylan Winnegale did just an unbelievable job, and it was just, like you said, it really almost went off seamless, flawless, and it was top. Everything about it was top notch at the end of the day. I think for fans, I think they loved it. Even the ones from the Midwest that really questioned it had a great time being in, what many people think the world's greatest city and the world's greatest arena with the world's greatest sport.
Well, the championships are over now. Now we look ahead to 2016-17 season, and you've got some holes to fill. Some people have decided to graduate, which is fantastic. That's the ultimate goal.
Of course.
The primary goal. Tell us what's going on with the roster right now.
I mean, we obviously have a 20-man roster cap. That is what it is. We already have 4 guys committed to come in before it started. I can even replace about 5 more. So we're on it. We're looking at some transfers. We're looking at a couple other freshmen. We're probably looking at about 10, 12 kids that we really want at certain needs. And they're going to run the gambit. I mean, we're looking at 25, 33 pounders, 49 pounders, 65, 74, 84 pounders, 97 heavyweight. We're looking at a bunch of things because guys need workout partners. We need to plug some holes. We need to do a lot of things. And I'll be honest, it is an unbelievably exciting time. I'm so excited about the group of 4 that we already have coming in, and the people that we're looking at that are very, very interested about coming in. And even more so, we have a group of juniors that we've been all over the recruiting juniors. Obviously, they won't affect us next year, but some high-end juniors that are super excited to come on unofficial visits, and that's very promising, and it makes you feel good considering the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years have been like not where Hofstra wants to be, and the last 2 years have been transition years, and I think I finally get to start building it the way I truly wanted to build it, that I couldn't do as soon as I got here, and it's nice that I can do it now, finally. So, excited and nervous like always, but leaving to go recruit today. So find those new guys.
You lose 4 starters for next year. Jelani Connolly at 157, Franco Franti at 174, deciding to graduate this year and forego their final season. Jamel Hudson, who also had a final season but graduated in December, and he's going to be moving on and graduating as well. So you've got some holes to fill in a busy off season.
For sure, and those guys are like, a lot of them, you know, we just don't offer their master's program, and, you know, Jamel's already done with his master's. This summer, Jamel's gonna be done with his master's degree in 4 years. That's unbelievable. So, yeah, the other guys just, you know, Frank Afani, we don't offer the program he needs, and he, you know, it is what it is.
And one final note on the coaching staff, Dan Valamont, working hard as he prepares for the U.S. Olympic team trials in Iowa. How's his progression going right now?
He's been good. He's been Penn State's running a big training camp right now. He's been at his alma mater, and right now spring break, we're not doing anything right now. So he's been away just doing recruiting and, you know, training at Penn State. You know, another quick training cycle, and then he's gonna be ready to go. We'll see. Those are tall orders. Dan's a real good wrestler, but everyone qualifies for the Olympic trials. You have to be really good to qualify for Olympic trials. So it's razor sharp, and hopefully he's ready to go and representing, you know, Hofstra wrestling.
Well, it's been fun this year. Thanks for an exciting season, and good luck next year.
I appreciate it. More excitement to come.
And good luck on the recruiting trail.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching the WB Mason Coaches Report with Dennis Papadatos.